Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Crypto Scene Investigation, where we have a look at various cryptocurrency projects and we ask ourselves, are they really going to be worth investing in? Today we're going to be looking at Gamestarter. Now, if you guys do actually like what I do on this channel, please do consider liking and subscribing. And if you do wish to comment, I do ask that you try to keep the comments healthy, and maybe things which we can use to benefit us in understanding the project, and possibly help other people as well. So yeah. Anyway guys, welcome. So we currently don't know the proper market cap yet. It does say that its current rank is about 3,000-ish, but the market cap has not been confirmed, so we can't actually confirm whether or not what number it is actually going to be sitting on. So it says that when the stats came onto coinmarketcap, it was at around 0.71, and then we're currently sitting at about 0.4, so it has dropped quite a bit. The exchanges which it is currently on is Gate.io, Albank, pancakeswap, BitGet, and uniswap. So yes, it is on the Binance smartchain and the Ethereum smartchain. This is the YouTube. Pretty okay. It seems like they are updating us with some of the news and everything, which I think is really cool. But there's something which is interesting. So I'll briefly describe to you guys exactly who these people are. So essentially, they are what we call a incubator. And so an incubator is generally somebody who you buy their tokens, for instance. We can actually have a look at what you can do with those. So if we go to the levels, you can actually see what you can do with these. So you buy like a certain amount of tokens. So like if you have 750 tokens, if you have 2,500 tokens, so the more tokens that you have of their game token, the more likely that you're able to get on the ground floor for various IGOs. So IGO stands for initial game offering. Yeah, and so let's say if like they want to release a game, for instance, so you can choose to participate in these IGOs, or you can come up to be a part of them. So yeah, so that's some of that jazz, and this is just a bit of a brief video showing a little bit about this. So one thing which is really fascinating, and this is actually, so they're wanting to do a Gamestarter metaverse. So there is actually a Medium article which is written about this, and I find this absolutely fascinating. So they say, what is Gamestarter, what is a metaverse, and so there are very interesting things around this. So one of them is the fact that each game will have its own island, and so these guys are kind of, I would say, pioneers. I haven't seen this done with any other project before, where what they will do is that, so each game will have its own island, and so within their version of the metaverse, you'll be able to try out other things from other games, like maybe their own version of the metaverse on their metaverse. So it's like metaverseception. Yeah, so one thing which also was attractive to me was the inbuilt game testing environment, so a place to test and preview new games directly in your browser. So in other words, when these guys are doing IGOs for upcoming games, you can actually participate in those. And so they also talk about fractionalized NFT ownership, and so every IGO participant will get a piece in Games Island. So yeah, so it's all pretty fascinating, to be honest. So you can get like special rewards like NFT drops and discounts and other mini games. Yeah, so it's pretty interesting. As I say, I haven't come across something like this before. Yeah, if anybody knows of any other projects, you're very welcome to comment that, because yeah, I think this could be something which I'd like to know a little bit more about. Yeah, so essentially it's not just people like investing with the token, but it's actually people interacting in that world. So yeah, so one thing which Alex Becker does say is that when it comes to investing into game projects, you've got to see some gameplay. We currently don't see any gameplay of that, but that's not their primary thing. Their primary thing is that they are an incubator for game projects. So early access will be released in Q1 of 2022, which isn't that gonna like finish in like 2 months, or something like that? So meta full release. Whoa, okay. And IGOs and meta, so that's for Q2. All right, and then so they talk a little bit about the NFT ownership and such. Now, there is a reason why I've kept this particular thing up here. So one thing which I do want you guys to realize when it actually comes to investing into any incubator, If you look on their website and then they show, wow, times 76, times 36 at their all-time high, that doesn't mean that that project has been doing well for very long term. Now, I'm not saying that any of these projects here are bad projects. I'm just saying that as a general cautionary step, I feel like it would be better for people and if the company is listening to this video, would be for these guys to actually have the current price from how much it is up from when it was released. Because I mean, for example, Meta VPAD, right? That went up 1,000x in one day. But if you go to coinmarketcap and you have a look at the at where the price is now, it's just continuously gone down. Like, I'm not saying that Meta VPAD is a bad project either, so just so that you guys know what I'm saying. Yeah, so that's yep, that's that. So these guys, they are on the Ethereum network, the Binance network, but they are also on the Polygon network. So if we briefly have a look, they only have one token holder on here. Don't know what's happening with this. Don't really have any idea at the moment of what's going on with that. But yeah, so they originally started out on the Ethereum network, and something which is a bit iffy. So contracts, good, fine. I believe that these actually have to do with their vesting within their token allocation, which we can be looking at a little bit later on. So Gate.io, they've also got some wallets on here, so this would be a part of their own liquidity. Uniswap has some liquidity from Game to USDT. But here is something interesting: the Gamestarter deployer. Now, I have this holds 76% of the total / current supply of the game coin on the Ethereum chain. Okay, so just so that you know, 76%. That is a heck of a lot. That is a heck of a lot, and there are some other concerning things which we can look into as to why that is extra concerning. And we'll look into those shortly. Actually, let's look into it now. So the first one, so I decided to bring up two other incubators just to do a bit of a comparison. So we have Meta VPAD and we have Cedarfy Fund. Both of these are incubators. And what's interesting, so their top wallet is locked into a smart contract. Well, what is Meta VPAD? Meta V. Also, the top wallet, 95%, but it's locked into a smart contract. So why can these guys not do the same thing? Sorry, that's the Binance chain. So why can these guys not do the same thing? That's concerning for me. I don't like that. That is very unattractive, and it also gets more concerning from there. So we will continue to look a little bit deeper. The Binance Smart Chain one. So this one was done via chainport.io. I did briefly look on their website. I tried messaging them, but I think that they were asleep. Yeah, so chainport.io, don't know how good or bad they are, but apparently they've got like a whole bunch of big name partners from what I saw on their website. So yeah, but you can't always trust the website that, you know, the partners are legit. But yeah, I don't know why they'd lie about that, because they've got a pretty nifty looking token contract. So anyway, so this one here again, the top wallet, 27%. That is an unlocked wallet right there. This is an unlocked wallet, meaning that if this guy here sells, and look, the other ones, these are smart contracts, absolutely fine, wonderful, but then the only other one is holding about 1%, and everybody else is less than 0.5%. So when I have a look at these things, that is concerning numbers. Those are concerning numbers. Yeah. I mean, and this guy's a little bit lucky because he's holding 2%, so that is absolutely fine. Yeah, so let's move on and have a look at some other statistics. So, according to the ETH contract, so bscheck says that it is risky. Buy and sell tax is fine. Cannot read contract code. Owner part. Warning, this contract seems to be a non-standard one. Cannot read contract owner. So owner has not been renounced. That's okay, I guess. Get owner issue. Cannot check dev wallets. So we don't actually know the dev wallets yet. And yeah, and this is a part of the Ethereum 1K, so we'll look a little bit deeper onto some of these other tabs as well. So in terms of the tokens which are locked, So it says that 53% of it is currently locked in terms of the liquidities, and also says that the top holder is 2.72%, which I don't believe that is correct, and we will continue to look at why. Yeah, so we have a look at the BSC one now. So this is the one which is done by chainport.io. So this one's quite interesting. So that the owner has been renounced, and this is according to Open Zeppelin. So you can probably look on there. So it says contract code suspicious burn function detected, and this one is also a bit sus, but we'll continue looking why. So it says seems scam, right? But it says token supply, so 27% of token supply, which we did see on the actual smart chain. And it says LP issue. So I'm personally not too worried about this LP issue, because when I was sort of like asking about this, I mean, when it comes to the LP issue, the fact that, so it is on pancakeswap, and it says that it's got 331,000 volume on pancakeswap. So I mean, first of all, that is impressive, and also probably means that bscheck may be reading something wrong. But also, I feel like most of the quote-unquote liquidity would be probably on something like gate.io, for instance, or one of these other big boys. But yeah, I mean, Albank seems to have a lot of volume. Yeah, so just to give you guys a bit of an understanding of that jazz. But we'll have a look at what tokensniffer says. So tokensniffer with ETH, they say 0 out of 100, but let's find out why. So buy and sell fee, there's nothing, which is fabulous. Verify contract source, cool. No prior similar token contracts. So there have been other prior ones, but if you guys recognize any of these names, you're very welcome to comment to see like maybe what sort of happened with these guys. I'm not going to be researching into these things here. But yeah, they've also received other low scores as well. But we don't know if these are actually hacks or bugs or anything, because usually we get a little orange box here to show that, but we can't see that much of an issue there. Create a wallet contains less than 5%, so that's what you want, right? That is what you want. We want a little tick next to that section, but it says 76%. 76%. Moving on. So it says adequate liquidity present. So once again, I'm not too concerned about the liquidity here, purely because of the fact that we do have it listed on things like gate.io and Albank. Yeah, and so yep, liquidity. So as I say, not too worried about the liquidity when it comes to this jazz. Okay, just keep that in mind. So this is the Binance Smart Chain one. So no prior similar token contracts. That's interesting, because this was done through chain, whatever it's called, chainport.io. Yeah, so that looks really nice. All of the holders possess less than 5%. So we know that they don't possess less than 5% because there's that one wallet which is 25%, and the other ones are contracts, which is absolutely fine. Let's have a look at some of this. Adequate liquidity present. Yeah, so it says that there is currently, and if we have a look on kucoin, it says that there is $472,000 in BUSD. So that's pretty impressive, to be honest. So that sort of tells us that if we were to purchase on pancakeswap, that we should be fine with that jazz. And remember, BSCcheck was sort of calling this out and saying, oh my gosh, like, this is like bad, dude, LP issue, like everything is 0. But whereas with this one here, we do actually see that they do have adequate liquidity present. So as I say, I'm not too worried about that sort of jazz. Oh, and they actually have the same, so similar token contracts is also with Orion Money, whatever that is. So it's interesting how it says no prior similar token contracts, but it's identical to another one. Another interesting thing. That's why we check all these different websites. So yeah, so this is the Ethereum one, and as you can see, have a look at that pie chart, dude. Red creator 76%. Like, they could pull out at any point, and rest in peace, you guys' money. Just saying. Unlocked is 23%. Okay, so we don't have anything which is locked neither. And liquidity, I mean, as I say, I'm not too concerned about the liquidity because we do have other contracts to help us with that liquidity. It says that the token age is 7 months old, but when we have a look down here, we can see that it doesn't actually tell us too much, to be honest. So what's kind of good, and this is kind of a bit of a green flag-ish sign according to their ETH contract, is the fact that we can't, like, that Moonarch is not actually picking up any sort of concerning labels within the code. For instance, it's not picking up anything which is too concerning there. Although this one function here, which is talking about a function which might be able to mint supply, but that happens with pretty much almost every other contract which I've seen. We usually have something like this right here. So I'm not too worried about this particular function. But once again, that's 76%. That is just looming over us. Let's look at the BSC one. So it says contract is not verified on BSCscan. So I did ask somebody about this jazz, and they said that what that means is that they don't allow you to view the code, which, yeah, I mean, could possibly be concerning to some extent. But we can see that actually this has a decent amount of liquidity, and once again, the $400,000 worth of liquidity. So I think that is absolutely fine. So let's have a look at some other things. So we'll look at some social metrics. So they currently have 100,000 followers on. Geez, they had lost over 1,000 followers in one day. So wow. That, I mean, compared to 100,000, it's not that much, but dang. So they say that they have gotten over 2,000 new followers in the last 30 days. But there's been multiple days of them losing a bunch of followers, and I do wonder why that is. I have some theories as to what they could be. But yeah, we'll look a little bit deeper into that. So yeah, in terms of the community, it seems like they are pretty big, which is good. So I was having a look through their page and everything, see if I could see maybe anything a bit sussy. What's interesting, so this guy has commented on like more than one post, and then he's like, scam alert, and then he's talking about this one game is a scam. Don't be fooled by these money hungry sellers of illusions, yet they are accomplice with Gamestarter. So first of all, I don't think that Gamestarter should be blamed for this game or what have you. I mean, they can be, but yeah, it depends on how they promote it, to be honest. But yeah, I think I'm not too, like, I just think that this dude is kind of a bit salty, to be honest. And what's interesting is that his picture here is actually similar to the @Sunio picture as well. So I'm not sure what this page was about here, but it says complete the form and be into and blah blah, and then so it has a link to the form, right? And so we can briefly have a look at that bot planet community round. Okay. So here's what kind of caught me off guard a little bit. I want you to have a look at some of these profile pictures. Have a look at that one, then have a look at that one. Then after you've had a look at that one, I want you to have a look at this one. And after you've looked at that one, I want you to come down and, yeah, I can't see any of the others, which I like that. Anyway, my point being, there is possibly a bunch of bot comments in here, because a lot of them have been saying these things here. Believe me, this is a good project with a great potential, for the community. Thank you for the project that brings great opportunities to everyone, and then they just tag like 3 friends or 3 people, which is kind of weird. A very good project, great project, best project, good project, promising project. So it just kind of rubs me the wrong way a little bit, to be honest. It does feel like, because I mean, these guys weren't supposed to do that, but all of them are tagging just 3 people, and one of them keeps on tagging like this, like Konduong, and if we have a look, Konduong is there, but who is this? Konduong? What? And they're both tagging different people, and he's even tagging another Konduong. Like, I don't know, dude. It's just, it just seems like these guys have paid for like a bunch of like bot comments, to be honest, and that doesn't look very good in my personal point of view. So let's have a look at what they've been doing in the last 12 months in terms of Google Trends searches. So they've been doing pretty alright, eh? They've been doing pretty alright. We'll have a look at the last 90 days. So it's been going down a little bit, but that's okay. I mean, I have heard of these guys before, I think. Maybe I'm confusing Gamestarter with a different company. But yeah, they've sort of been getting searched here and there. So this is their main website. I do believe that we might have already gone through this, so we'll just quit out of that jazz. IGOs reinvented, so this was the thing regarding the IGOs. Upcoming IGOs, great. Why do I have all these same tabs open? So this is their roadmap, and this is quite cool. So as we can see, so they have done quite a few things already, so when it comes to this jazz, so they say Gamestarter marketplace launch, so we'll sort of be seeing a few of these other sort of things here. I believe that this might have already happened, if I'm right, to trade and buy NFTs. Don't know if that part has happened. No, so they haven't actually done that part yet, because that's actually in development on their website, subject to availability of banking services. Okay. Direct purchase of a game coin with fiat currency, sure. Gamestarter mobile app. So yeah, they do have a bunch of stuff which looks like they are going to be working on. It's not the most like spread out and elaborate roadmap, but it's not a bad roadmap. Like the roadmap which they are showing us is pretty much the main points of what they're actually wanting to do. So I think that's absolutely fine in terms of their roadmap. So token allocation. This is something quite interesting. So how does that token allocation work when it comes to the fact that they have 76% in one wallet? I keep saying it over and over because I want you guys to understand, 76%. If they sell, rest in peace, all of you guys. However, here are some things which these guys have done, right? They actually have had some games release under their IGO, from what I have seen, and I think that is awesome. So we actually do have some examples of real things. So that's why to me it comes across as less of a rug pull because of that. All right, so they got seed public liquidity. We didn't see that. Adoption incentives, team advisors, development. So they do have a vesting thing, which I believe, because when we were having a look on bscheck and tokensniffer and Moonarch, we didn't see any locked liquidity, right? But when we actually have a look on the actual chains, we can see that there are smart contracts left, right, and center. And so I do believe, especially with something like this, for instance, where they currently hold 16%, that this would probably actually likely be a part of some sort of vesting scheme, which maybe that's vesting to that wallet, because that wallet's pretty high, to be honest. Yeah, so just as a bit of an insight regarding that. So they talk about the supply as well. So although they say 7.5% for development and 15% team, like that's kind of like the same thing. So it's like 22.5%. So advisors are also another one as well. And then so they also have some other things along with this as well. So we'll jump away from that. So this is their team. It's okay that they don't have pictures of themselves on their websites, because we can actually have a look at their LinkedIns, which is wonderful. So thank you very much, guys, whoever was in charge of doing that. So Julius, so he has been doing a whole bunch of things, man. So he was a systems engineer, infrastructure engineer, and IT support analyst. So this guy has been in and around the community. So I like that. So I feel like I mean, have a look at his face. He looks like such like a beautiful man. He looks like such a great man. But anyway, can't always judge a book by their cover now, can you? Sylvia, we don't have a picture of her. That's okay. But we can see that some of her other previous histories of what she's done. So she's the CMO and co-founder of Gamestarter, and she's the head of marketing, digital marketing manager, and she was also a marketing associate. Sorry, I said she is a head of marketing, but she was a head of marketing. Sorry. Yeah, so I think that's good. This fellow here, he is a founder of Easy Team, so he's actually been pretty proactive, to be honest, in like the work which he's been doing. We'll actually see where we can see where it says that he's with Gamestarter on here, because it should be on here somewhere. Game designer. I don't see Gamestarter, dude. Now, isn't that funky? Why is it not showing Gamestarter? Maybe the fellow hasn't updated it for years. Nope, that's not true as well, because he's been updating it since January 2022. Very peculiar. Don't know what's going on there then. We'll move on from that. We'll move on. That's interesting. So This fellow has been the CTO and lead developer for 8 months, and he might not be with them anymore because it says only since January 2022. And now he's with, oh sorry, okay, that's the Gamestarter studio. Oh my gosh, looking at two different things. So he's still with them, cool. And so he's the lead game developer, so that's fine. In terms of his experience, he's been a game developer, software developer, Serious VR, and a home-based one as well, working on Garage the Game. Andreas, if I pronounce your name right. So he's been the CEO and co-founder of Cflow, and advisor for Workstarter, a conceptualist and a founder for GS Studio, so that's Gamestarter Studio, and also a project lead for Gamestarter. So honestly, awesome. I think that is wonderful. I think we're coming across quite a solid team here, and especially with this chick, she's actually had quite the experience. So marketing and B2B development internship, blockchain research consultant, marketing and B2B operations manager, international B2B operations manager, and now she's the chief operations officer for Gamestarter. So she's had a very impressive thing, especially because we have NordVPN as one of the guys. So she's very much a go-getter. And we have, I'm not going to pronounce the name. She is not actually working as a community manager for Gamestarter anymore. She was only there for 4 months, so it does make me question the up-to-date validity of these guys here. We also have Hatu, who I didn't add because he was an advisor and his LinkedIn doesn't show anything about Gamestarter. So I don't feel like advisors really put themselves as advisors on LinkedIn, so that's why I didn't really jump onto that one. So yeah, it does make me question that. And Julius, man, what a great smile. So meet our partners. So some of their partners: Kairos Ventures, fabulous, seen them before. AU21 Capital, great. X21. Keep in mind, even though they have these here, that doesn't mean that they are absolutely guaranteed to be partners with these guys. So sometimes projects will go and copy and paste them on their website, but to be honest, it doesn't really feel like they've like these guys particularly have actually done that. So yeah, let's summarize what we've learned and whether or not I think you should invest in this jazz. To be honest, I think like they have a really important thing, but I think before you invest into these guys, there needs to be something done about these massive wallets. Like if Julius or anybody else is listening to this, put this into a smart contract. Follow the steps of things like MetaVPad and Seedify. Like put it into something so that we know that you aren't just going to go and pull this out from under our feet, because it says that its current value is 34 million. But chances are that if Gamestarter keeps on growing, that it's just going to get even bigger than that sort of jazz. So it sort of feels like the I forgot the analogy about where you've got like the swinging sword over the head. It sort of feels a little bit like that. And it just makes me and maybe others actually question some of the extra validity. So yeah, please consider doing something like that if you are listening to this video. But yeah, so for everybody else who is watching, if you do want to invest, now would be a good time to invest because it's mega low compared to their all-time high. And keep in mind, I mean, most of the market has been sort of going down sort of during this whole kind of last few months or what have you. Yeah, but honestly, if you do want to invest because you believe in the project. I'm not saying don't invest, but I'm just saying be wary and cautious about investing because of those potentially looming threats of 27% unlocked wallet and 76%. So anyway, guys, that is my video. Thank you very much for watching. I do have a Patreon, which if you guys do want to help financially support me, that would be wonderful, because I am wanting this to continuously be a full-time thing. And I've got different tiers. You can get special benefits. You can get exclusive fan requests and vote for projects you want videos on and stuff. So yeah, As I say, really wanting to continue making a great community. Yeah, really wanting to be truth-based and be talking about things, and yeah. Anyway, guys, that is me. Thank you for watching. Have a great day or a great evening. If you wouldn't mind liking and subscribing, and once again, if you do want to comment, please only comment if it's a healthy and beneficial comment for people to be reading, and something which is potentially going to help all of us make better investing decisions as well. So yeah, much love.